Minimalism is more than just reducing clutter in your physical space. It's a mindset, a way of living intentionally with less so you can focus on more of what truly matters. Whether you feel overwhelmed by the endless distractions of modern life or are simply craving a calmer, more meaningful existence, adopting a minimalist lifestyle could be the change you've been searching for. Let's explore, step by step, how to start your minimalist journey, what to expect along the way, and how to find joy in simplicity. Minimalism begins with a single, powerful question: what truly adds value to my life? Everything you own, every commitment you make, and each activity you choose occupies space, not just in your physical world, but in your mind and heart as well. The goal is to intentionally curate your surroundings and your schedule, keeping only what serves your well-being and letting go of the rest. It's tempting to think of minimalism as simply living with fewer possessions, but it's much deeper than counting belongings or sticking to a certain aesthetic. At its core, minimalism empowers you to examine your habits, your choices, and your motivations, fostering an environment where you can breathe easier and pursue what brings genuine fulfillment. To get started, it helps to reflect on your own motivations. Why are you drawn to minimalism? Are you hoping to save money, reduce stress, create a more organized home, or simply find more time for the people and activities you love? Understanding your why will keep you anchored as you start making changes, especially when old habits or new temptations threaten to sideline your progress. The next step is decluttering, which often serves as the catalyst for broader lifestyle shifts. Begin small. Select a single drawer, shelf, or countertop. As you sort through your belongings, pick up each item and ask yourself, do I use this? Does it serve a purpose or bring me joy? If you hesitate, set it aside. You can always revisit items later. Minimalism doesn't demand perfection, but it does encourage honesty, acknowledging what you truly need and what's just taking up space. As you work through your home, resist the urge to tackle everything at once. Minimalism isn't a race. Allow yourself time to adjust. Each cleared space offers a feeling of calm and clarity that's hard to describe until you've experienced it firsthand. Relish these moments. They are reminders of the freedom you're creating for yourself. Beyond physical goods, minimalism also invites you to review commitments and activities. Take a look at your weekly routine. Are there obligations that drain your energy without contributing much in return? It's okay to step back from social events, clubs, or even relationships that no longer align with your values. Prioritizing your time is just as important as organizing your belongings. Minimalism also extends to the digital world, an often overlooked source of hidden clutter. Unsubscribe from email lists that fill your inbox with noise. Delete unused apps on your devices. Consider limiting your social media presence or muting notifications that interrupt your focus. A simpler digital environment can significantly reduce mental fatigue. As your physical and digital spaces simplify, you may begin to notice other benefits. Minimalism often leads to more mindful shopping habits. Before making purchases, stop to consider, is this something I truly need, or is it just a fleeting desire? Adopting a one-in, one-out policy can help. Every time you bring something new into your space, let go of something else. Financial minimalism can also follow. With fewer impulse buys and reduced focus on material goods, you'll likely find your spending decreases. The money you save can be allocated toward experiences, savings, or causes you care about. Even better, your sense of self-worth starts to shift. Instead of measuring yourself by what you own, you become more attuned to who you are and what you enjoy. Minimalism pairs naturally with sustainability. Owning fewer items often means investing in higher quality, long-lasting goods. You might find yourself opting for timeless styles over fleeting fashion trends or embracing reusable alternatives to single-use products. Minimalist living makes consumption more mindful, and in doing so, it can lighten your environmental footprint. Of course, the path to minimalism isn't always smooth. Sentimental belongings, gifts, souvenirs, or items tied to memories can be difficult to part with. Give yourself grace. Minimalism isn't about deprivation, but thoughtful selection. If something means a lot to you, it's perfectly fine to keep it. However, For items that are kept out of guilt or obligation, consider taking a photo or writing down the memory before letting them go. Throughout your minimalist journey, you'll likely encounter societal pressures. Consumer culture celebrates abundance and often equates possessions with success. Remember, minimalism is deeply personal. It's not about meeting anyone else's standards. Instead, it's about creating a life that's aligned with your own values and goals. As time goes on, your understanding of minimalism may evolve. You might start simply wanting a clutter-free home, but discover a desire for deeper intentionality in how you spend your time, whom you spend it with, and what you work toward each day. Embrace these changes. They signify growth and self-discovery. Minimalism also creates opportunities for gratitude. With fewer distractions, the things and people you keep become more special. A favorite chair, a beloved book, a weekly coffee date with a friend. Each stands out more clearly against the backdrop of simplicity. You start to realize that happiness comes not from having the most, but from cherishing what matters most. To sustain your minimalist lifestyle, revisit your motivations regularly. Reflect on how you feel now compared to before you started. Celebrate progress, no matter how small, and adjust your approach as needed. Minimalism is a lifelong journey, unique to each person who pursues it. In summary, starting a minimalist lifestyle is about more than decluttering your space. It's about making conscious choices, one step at a time, to prioritize what truly enhances your life. With patience and intention, minimalism can help you rediscover peace, freedom, and satisfaction in the everyday, reminding you that sometimes less really is more. Minimalism has become a popular topic in recent years, with countless articles, inspiring photos, and influencers advocating for a simpler, more intentional way of living. But with this surge in popularity come plenty of assumptions and misconceptions. Today, let's uncover 5 common myths about minimalism that might be holding you back from exploring its true benefits. When most people hear the word minimalism, the image that springs to mind is a mostly empty room. White walls, a single chair, perhaps a plant sitting calmly on a bare table. The first myth we need to debunk is the idea that minimalism is about owning as little as humanly possible. In reality, minimalism is not about deprivation. Rather, it's about intentionality, choosing what matters to you and letting go of what doesn't. You don't have to fit all of your possessions in a backpack or live in a tiny home to be a minimalist. For some, minimalism means downsizing dramatically, but for others, it might simply involve clearing the clutter from your desk or reevaluating your wardrobe. Minimalism is deeply personal. It's less about the number of things you own and more about the purpose those things serve in your life. If having a bookshelf filled with your favorite novels brings you joy and inspires you, then those books have a place in your version of minimalism. The second myth is that minimalism is only for rich, single people with no kids or major commitments. Minimalism may have a reputation for going hand in hand with modern, urban lifestyles. But the truth is, it's accessible and beneficial for people in all stages of life. Families, students, retirees, and people from all walks of life can embrace minimalism in whatever way makes sense for them. In fact, for parents, minimalism can be a tool to simplify routines, remove unnecessary chaos, and focus on creating meaningful memories with their children. It's not about having a perfectly curated home for social media. It's about reducing distractions and making room for what truly matters, regardless of your income, family size, or living situation. Minimalism is a flexible philosophy capable of fitting into any household, and you don't need a loft apartment or a big budget to get started. The third myth is that minimalism is a one-time project you complete and never revisit. There's an idea out there that once you declutter your closet or your kitchen, the job is done and you've reached some kind of minimalist finish line. The reality is, minimalism is an ongoing journey, not a one-and-done task. Life changes, and so do our needs and priorities. What felt essential a year ago might not fit your life today. Practicing minimalism means regularly reassessing your environment, habits, and possessions to ensure they're still serving you. It's about developing lasting habits, not cleaning frenzies. Over time, as you cultivate a more mindful approach to what you bring into your home and life, the maintenance gets easier, but it's never truly finished. Minimalism is less about perfection and more about pursuit. The pursuit of a lifestyle that genuinely supports your values, dreams, and well-being. Now, let's address the fourth myth: the belief that minimalism means giving up everything fun or beautiful. Some critics argue that minimalism strips life of color, comfort, and creativity, reducing everything to the bare minimum. But minimalism is not about creating a stark, joyless existence. In fact, it's often the opposite. By eliminating what doesn't serve us, minimalism creates space for more creativity, beauty, and enjoyment. For example, owning fewer clothes may actually empower you to only keep and wear items that make you look and feel your best. Clearing unnecessary commitments from your calendar can free up time for hobbies and experiences that are truly meaningful. Minimalism invites us to redefine luxury and pleasure on our own terms, savoring experiences instead of accumulating things for the sake of having more. Whether it's a piece of art that speaks to your soul, a favorite chair that feels like a warm hug, or time spent with loved ones, minimalism makes room for these delights by clearing out the excess. Life doesn't have to be boring or plain to be simple. Finally, the fifth myth is that minimalism is only about physical possessions. Yes, physical decluttering is a big part of the minimalist approach, but it's only the tip of the iceberg. True minimalism extends beyond the items you own to include your schedule, your relationships, your digital life, and even your mindset. It's about identifying what feels overwhelming or unnecessary in every aspect of your life and gently letting it go. Digital minimalism, for instance, encourages us to be intentional with how much time we spend on social media, the number of notifications we allow, or how many emails clog our inboxes. Mental minimalism invites us to let go of anxieties, old grudges, or self-criticism, making space for more gratitude, presence, and contentment. Minimalism can also influence how we approach work, socializing, and even goal setting. By paring back in all these areas, we create more space for clarity, focus, and personal growth. As we peel back the layers of these myths, a more nuanced and approachable picture of minimalism begins to emerge. Minimalism isn't about rules or restrictions, it's about freedom. It's not about perfection, but about progress. It's not just for a select few, but for anyone who wants to experience life with more intention, purpose, and joy. Whether you're taking your first small steps toward decluttering a junk drawer or reevaluating your commitments or beliefs, minimalism offers tools and perspectives that can transform not just your home, but your sense of inner peace and direction. Embracing minimalism doesn't require you to fit someone else's mold. It asks only that you get honest with yourself about what truly adds value to your life, and then to gradually let go of what doesn't. It's a gentle, powerful invitation to shift the focus from what you own to how you live. By questioning these myths and defining minimalism for yourself, you open the door to not just a cleaner space, but a calmer mind, richer relationships, and a more fulfilling way of moving through the world. So, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself where in your life things feel cluttered or overwhelming, physically, mentally, or emotionally. Which items, activities, or ideas support the person you want to be, and which are just taking up space? Minimalism isn't about achieving a goal, but about aligning your life more closely with your values, every step of the way. As you continue your journey, remember, minimalism is not about having less, but about making room for more freedom, more meaning, and more of what matters most to you.